Alright guys, welcome back to another video. We're going to jump right in today. I recently did this style on my daughter's hair and I decided to go ahead and record it for you guys. So if you're interested in how to get this style for your little one, keep on watching. So these are some of the products that you'll need. Of course, you need some clips to go ahead and separate the hair. You'll need a comb. I use beads on my daughter's hair, and then I use rubber bands to secure it. And I use this edge control because it was all that I had available, but generally I will use this to go ahead and grip her hair and help tame the frizzies. Of course, you want to make sure that you're doing this on freshly washed hair. So I washed my daughter's hair and then I sectioned it into 3 sections. So you just want to do a part going from one ear to the other. And then from that middle part, you'll take that down to the nape of the neck and dividing that back section into 2 halves. And this next part is a little weird to explain, but once you see it, it should make sense. You're going to take one of those back halves and then you're just going to part from the center part over towards the ear, and then you take it down to the nape of the neck and you start your braid. So just like you see me doing here, you'll just follow that part from the center all the way over to the ear, and then once you get to the ear, you take it in the direction of the nape of the neck, and once you are done with that, you just go ahead and complete the braid. Once you complete your braid, you'll literally repeat that same step over and over again until you finish with that section. So you'll just part from the center part over to the ear, down to the nape of the neck, and then you'll braid, and then you can finish it up with the beads on the end. Now when I'm parting my daughter's hair, I like to use the rat tail comb that has the metal piece on the end. I find that the other ones don't allow me to get as much precision, and especially because her hair is super soft, and sometimes you'll have some really fine pieces that can get lost in the sauce, so to speak. So I love using those metal rat tail combs to really get a nice clean part, or as clean as I possibly can, because she does move quite a bit. But there I am doing my second braid, just repeating that same step down to the ear and then taking it to the nape of the neck. And you see I'm pulling my hand away a few times. That's to just grab a little bit of that edge control to help tame the flyaways and the frizzies. And now you see me just going ahead and adding those beads onto the ends of the hair, and I'm using a rubber band to secure it. So I do this differently sometimes. Sometimes I'll braid her entire head and then go ahead and add the beads at the end, and sometimes I add the beads as I go. It really just depends on whatever mood I'm in. But here's a little bit of a slower view of how to do it. So you have all those beads already on the beader, and then you'll just pull it through the hair just like you see me doing here. And then I'll take that last bead at the end and slide it as far down as I can, where I can wrap the hair around the bead and secure it with the rubber band. I hope that makes sense, but if not, you can see what I'm doing right here. Oh yeah, so a water bottle. A spray bottle is definitely something that I also like to have handy whenever I'm doing her hair, because again, like I said, her hair can get really frizzy, and so when it air dries, that's when the frizz really happens. Having that water bottle around, it makes it just easier for me to be able to manage her hair. And so that water bottle that I had, it's a mister. I'll leave a link down below. I got it off of Amazon and I absolutely love it, you guys. The alligator clips I also got off of Amazon. They do a really good job of holding her hair and keeping it secure while I'm trying to braid and keep the hair separated. And they come in so many different colors. I'll also leave a link down below for the alligator clips. But again, I'm now on my third braid, and you see that I'm just repeating the same process. So this style is actually really simple, you guys, because once you've sectioned the hair, you just keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again until you're done. So some tips with braiding a toddler's hair. As you can see, my daughter is talking to her cousin on her iPad. So I know some people do not like to allow their children to have screen time, but when I'm trying to braid her hair, this iPad is literally my savior. That and snacks, because otherwise she would literally complain the whole time of either being uncomfortable or being bored. Sometimes I'll let her help with putting the beads on the beater, which helps me a ton, or I'll let her have just like some small toys that she can kind of fiddle with in her hand to kind of help with the boredom of just sitting there getting her hair braided. Alright, so once we finish with one of our back halves, then it's going to look a little something like this. Yours may be bigger, yours may be smaller. Of course, always customize it to fit whatever your desires or wants are for how you want the style to look. And then we're literally going to do the exact same thing on the other side and just keep repeating that process. So then your back section will look like this. Now we're going to go ahead and start working on the front. So for the front part of this style, what we want to do is go ahead and part the hair right down the middle and separate it into two sections. And if your little one is anything like mine and moves around a lot, this may take a couple tries to get a straight part, or you may not get a straight part, and that's okay too. Just try and get it as neat or as straight as you possibly can, and then go ahead and section off one side of the hair so that that's out of your way. And I'm literally just going to part the hair from the forehead to that center part, but I'm doing it on a slight diagonal. So I want to make sure that it's wider, closer to the forehead part of her head. I hope that made sense. And then skinnier, closer to the back part of the part. And just like we did in the back of the hair, we're going to do the same thing. It's literally just a repetitive style. You go ahead and part in that same motion. So a little bit wider towards the front of the part, a little more narrow towards the back of the part, or on a diagonal, however you want to phrase it. And you just continue to braid. The oil that you saw me putting in my daughter's hair is a Miel hair and scalp oil. I'll go ahead and link it down below. But usually what I'll do is oil their hair towards the end, or sometimes I'll do it as I'm going. It's really no method to my madness. I kind of just do whatever I'm feeling at that moment. As you see me doing here, I'm just repeating that same process. I'm parting the hair and braiding it up. So what we're doing while you want to braid it in a diagonal is because we're going to bring it all up into that ponytail in the end. So we want to make sure that it's coming up to the center of the head. Now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So we're just going to part in a diagonal motion with the parts being wider towards the front, more narrow in the back, and then we just braid everything up into that high ponytail to the center of her head. And now my daughter's starting to get a little bit sleepy, so I do let her rest her head on my leg while I'm braiding. If you find that they're still having some difficulty with this, you can go ahead and grab a pillow, just like you're going to see me do really soon, and let them fall asleep, and that way you can just do their hair in peace. So If you do that, like you see here, I laid down a scarf to protect the other side of her hair so that it doesn't get too frizzy. But this is just because I was being lazy. I do actually sell pillowcase bonnets on my Etsy shop, so usually I'll just put a pillowcase bonnet on whatever pillows nearby and lay them that way. You definitely don't want to lay them on top of cotton because it will frizzy up the hair before you're even done. Now I'm just putting those final beads on the ponytail portion of her hair, and after you do that, you're done. You should get something that'll look a little bit like this, unless you decided to modify yours, and if you did, good for you. But this is the end result. Please let me know down below in the comments section if you guys enjoy videos like this, and if you find them to be helpful, I'll definitely do some more. But as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.